Readers Entertainment Radio presents Booklights with your host, author Lisa Kessler. Booklights, where we're shining a light on good books.
Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday. It is not Monday. But to be fair, we did try on Monday, but the Blog Talk dashboard was down, so Monday was extra Monday. But today I'm super excited because my friend, author Meka James, had a book out the same day I did on Monday, and we thought we would do a fun dual interview for Booklights and tell you guys all about our new books that are out this week. So if you haven't met Meka yet, you're in for a treat, and I will read her bio here so you can get to know her. Meka James is a writer of adult, contemporary, and erotic romance. A born and raised Georgia peach, she still resides in the southern state with her hubby of 16 years and counting. Mom of 4 kids of the two-legged variety. She also has 4 fur babies of the canine variety. Leo the turtle and Spade the snake rounds out her wacky household. When she's not writing or reading, Meka can be found playing The Sims 3, sometimes Sims 4, and making up fun stories to go with the pixelated people whose world she controls. I did put a link to Meka's website right there on the Blog Talk site, so if you're listening live or if you're listening later, you can click that link anytime and sign up for her newsletter and find out about the new books that are coming out. She and I write together in the Word Makers every day, so I know what's coming up, but I'm going to let her tell you about it. So, Meka, are you there?
I'm here.
Yay! I'm so glad. Sorry, Monday we got shut out by Blog Talk.
Technology. I mean, you just have, it has its days too.
Yes, technology is always out to get us. But you had a new book come out Monday called The Heat of Love, and it's book 2 in the Love on Madison Island series. Do you want to tell everybody all about it?
Yes. So book 2 follows Regina Parker, who is the bakery owner and friend of Cynthia, who was the featured heroine in book 1. And so this time around, Regina's bakery got burned down. I know. People gave me lots of grief about that.
We were all crushed.
It gets rebuilt. I promise you, we rebuild. But Regina is a widow. She's been a widow for 16 years, and so she was very sort of anti-getting into a relationship again because even though she had gotten not really over the loss of her husband, she had gotten to the point where she worked, she took care of the son that they had, and she focused on her friends, her family, and then the occasional hookup with no strings attached when she got the itch to need that kind of, affection. But then the sexy fire investigator comes to town to investigate the suspicious blaze at her bakery, and because it's a romance novel, no matter what she said she wasn't going to do, the relationship ensues because we have to have those happily ever afters or happily pronounced. But yeah, that was the general gist of it. They're brought together because someone was a jerk and set her bakery on fire, and Alec comes to town to figure out how it started, and then they just sort of connect.
And this series that you put together, it all takes place on a little fictional island off of Georgia, right?
Correct. So Madison Island is the first time I put together a fictional town. Normally I've set my books in either like the Atlanta area or I have the novellas that are set in Phoenix. But this time around I did a fictional town, and it's sort of a mashup between Savannah and Tybee Island, and it's set in that general area, or supposed to be set in that general area along that southern coast of Georgia near Savannah and Tybee. So it's like a mashup, but like a little small hidden gem between those two areas. So that's what this is. And then the other thing with this series is all of the leads are, well, not all, because Alec is the young one at like 32, 33, but the other leads are all 40 plus. That was the other thing with this particular series.
I love it. So it's not the youngsters getting started for the first time. It's people trying to get it right later, right?
Correct. It is getting, finding those new loves and new experiences later in life.
I love that. And I love the setting because, of course, I have an Immortal Pirate series that's set in Savannah. And one of the books, which one? Pirate's Passion, I think. The big final battle scene all happens in the lighthouse at Tybee Island. Have you ever been up in that?
I have not. I've only been to Savannah. And when we went to Savannah, we didn't get a chance to go visit Tybee. I went, it's been years ago when my daughter, who's 24 now, was in Girl Scouts. If that tells you how long ago it's been since I've been to Savannah.
You went to go see the Girl Scout house, right?
Yes, we did. We went to the Girl Scout house, and then I think we did some of the girls did a ghost tour. I wasn't the leader who went with that particular situation. The other leader took the ones who did the ghost tour, and then I stayed with the other girls. But we, that's when we toured Savannah.
Okay. Well, if you ever get to go to Tybee Island and you go up in that lighthouse, that is a lot of steps. But I wanted to know what was up at the top because I wanted to have a scene where they take out the light at the top of the Tybee Island lighthouse. And so I walked up those steps, and they are very tiny, and you circle and circle and circle, and there's these little windows as you go up, and I'm looking out each time, and I'm like, hey, I'm higher. Okay, I'm higher. And people were coming down, and it would be really scary because you're trying to pass close to the wall because there's no railing. Just like I kept seeing people come down. I'm like, am I almost up? They're like, four more flights. I'm like, oh my God, it's further than
You're
I
not
thought.
selling this particular lighthouse, Lisa. I'm not sure I want to do this.
It's not making you want to run up there?
I'm not sure I want to do that.
Yes, what we do for book research.
I know, I thought about going. I'm like, maybe I should, but also we're still in the height of the pandemic, so I'm not traveling too much. Because I thought about I should go to Savannah and stay at a bed and breakfast because, in the first book, she's opening a B&B. And I was like, but no.
Yeah, right now is not a good time. I haven't had book research adventures in a couple of years now because of the plague. So, we have to use Google.
Right. Google, it helps a lot. It does make getting the research. And plus, because this one was a fictional town, I could make it up as I went because that's how I do most of my stories anyway, so it's all good.
Yay.
And your release was your wolf pack. So I started reading your Pirates book, but I haven't done the deep dive into your wolves yet. But I know this is the book that we were all mad at you about, right? This was the one.
Yes. Yes, this is the one. So Sedona Suspect came out on Monday, and this book I was writing with the word makers and bawling because a character dies. I won't spoil it and let you know who dies, but someone dies in Sedona Suspect, and while my books usually people die, the word makers were very upset about who died in this book, but there is a happy ending, and it's all beautiful. But yes, we do have a death in this book.
I mean, we're used to you having deaths. You are our resident murder fairy, but this time around it was different. We were like, but you write about immortals and stuff. We just didn't understand.
I know. My werewolves are mortal. They do age slower than humans, and they do usually heal faster than humans, but they are not immortal. And so occasionally members of my wolf packs die. So anyway, this one I knew when I started writing it that it was going to be emotion packed, but I wasn't prepared for my hero and heroine in this book, like yours, are older. The hero is 40. In the book, it starts the day after his 40th birthday, and he's really in a funk because werewolves mate for life. And in my world, when they discover their mate is the second that they touch skin to skin. And so he has been spending 40 years not finding his mate. And now the rest of the wolf pack has found mates. They have kids. And he had built this big house for his future family because he's a contractor. And he built it when he turned 30 because he was expecting he'd find his mate any day now. And now he's 40 in this big empty house all alone. And so at the beginning of the book, he's pretty sure that he has missed his mate because humans, of course, don't have that instinct. So he's envisioning that she's already married and has kids and, and he's going to be alone forever. So when an enemy of the pack comes to warn him that a judge has taken the super soldier serum and was losing it, anyway, she came to the wolf pack for help, and the alpha basically told her, that it's too dangerous. It'll bring the police to our doorstep. We're not going to hurt the judge. Hero was like, I don't really have anything to lose. I don't have a family or kids or a mate or anybody who would miss me. So he volunteers secretly to help her. And that's kind of how the book opens. And then when she ends up in jail, he has to break her out. So the story really hit the ground running, and I was expecting all the action. But my heroine, Natasha, is an assassin, and she actually was in my old series, the Moon series, that spun off to the Sedona Pack. So readers have known her for a long time, but I loved that one of the early reviews said Natasha was not who I thought she was. And I love that. I love redeeming bad guys. But anyway, Natasha had a lot of growing to do in the book, and she was 38. So, here's these two people, who are looking at 40 going, wow, my life isn't what I thought it would be, but life's not over yet. They can make new choices. So it was really fun. It just had so much more emotion than what I was expecting. And I thought the happy ending was, made my day. So.
Oh, yay. Now I have to definitely, I'm so behind on all my reading, so I'm like, I need to catch up. But with this particular set of books, I'm assuming you have to read all of them to know, or are your books set up where you can jump in the middle and not be totally lost?
That is a great question. I always write them so that you can jump in and not be lost. Because I ask that same question all the time. Am I going to have to go back and read 20 books first? So as a reader, I like to be able to jump in. And then usually I fall in love and go back to the beginning and read the whole series anyway. But it's not as daunting if I can put my toe in the water and read one book. So as a writer, I always try to make sure that they do that. So even though this is book 7 of the Sedona Pack series, you can jump in with this book. You don't have to read them all. But I secretly hope that you got older
characters, and you have an assassin because, look, I write romance, but I am so into the action movies and things of that nature.
Okay. Yes.
So,
then you will love Suspect. There's explosions and bad guys and assassins. Yeah, so it'll be right up your alley. An older hero and heroine.
Yep, sounds like it.
So that kind of dovetails into, I was going to ask you if contemporary romance, is that your favorite jam, or are you thinking about writing anything else? Or, do you have a secret thriller up your sleeve, anything like that?
I've thought about it, but I do contemporary romance because my stories are really character-driven, and it's I can focus in on them without a lot of extra subplots, which is good for me because, 1, I'm a pantser, so I never know what's coming, and 2, I have an absolutely crap memory, so I feel like I would say something and then forget it, and then I'd have all these loose, and I understand editing and whatnot can take place, but I just so for me, I would forget things, but I do have ideas to do. I don't know if it would be considered thriller or if it would fall under romantic suspense, but I did have an idea for a darker romance at some point. It still would be contemporary romance, but more on the dark
romantic
side, kind
suspense.
of where I with the lady killer, because
love it.
women can be assassins and murderers as well. And I spend a lot of time watching Snap, so that absolutely doesn't help. I spend an awful lot of time watching Snap. I don't know why, but I do. The things I watch when I'm doing romantic scenes. But yeah, so I probably will. I don't know when, because my brain is very scattered most days. And so currently I just really focused on trying to get this series out and done this year for the Madison Island. And then after that, I have to spend some time figuring out which characters come to me next so that I can write, because I like to write sort of like what's sort of speaking to me at the moment. So I can't. That's the other reason I don't really plan anything, because I don't know. I can say, yes, I want to do this, but then when the time comes, I can be totally disinterested, and then trying to force it to write it would just be like blah. So there are other things. They're all going to usually have like a romance thread to them. It's just a matter of, will it be like where it will be. It's a dark romance, romantic suspense, that sort of thing. But I do have an idea for something to get a little bit darker, because I started my roots with a darker story. Like, that was my first story. So I've been thinking about getting back to like the darker thing, because it's something about writing bad characters that are really kind of fun and freeing. So I want to do that again.
Yes.
Because you don't have to be so concerned about their morals. They can just be bad, and I kind of like that.
Yes. Yes, I do like writing a really good villain is my jam. And I love the high stakes, life or death stakes. So romantic suspense, I enjoy reading very much, as well as paranormal and urban fantasy and stuff like that. Things where, the world could end, but I love you.
Yes.
Those are my kind of romances.
Yeah, I don't read. Yeah, I do like that. That's why I like action. But then I'm also weird, because like I don't want my action to be too bogged down with the romance. I know I'm weird as a romance author. That's in the movies. In the books, give me the romance, but in the movies, I'm weird that way. But it's fine.
You like what you like.
I do, yeah. It's sort of like two halves of my brain working in concert there. I'm sorry for the noise outside.
Oh, I didn't even hear him, so we're all good.
Okay, good. Because, there's a truck outside, and it's really loud.
So since we both had release days on Monday, do you have any release day rituals? I know the readers like to know behind the scenes of what we authors do on release day. You want to share?
I do not have any rituals. This Monday was all about panic. I had a hiccup with my file that I didn't catch until after my Amazon locks your account after a certain time when you do a pre-order as an indie. And so I didn't catch the hiccup until after my account was locked. And so it was like that race against time, trying to see if I can get it in there and get the right file pushed out to the readers. So this Monday was really about panic. Outside of that, the only thing I normally do is I'll post something to social media like Twitter or Instagram, that sort of deal. But yeah, I don't really have any release day rituals. The only ritual I have at this point is when I finish the first draft of a book, I have this whiskey called Writer's Tears that my daughter got me. And whenever I finish a first draft of a book, I have a small sort of shot of that Writer's Tears whiskey as to celebrate another project. It's not really complete, but the hardest part for me is the drafting, to get the words out of my head. So once, tears are sometimes involved, so it seems very fitting.
Yes.
That's what I do. So, So that's pretty much my only real ritual, is that I will have that sort of that shot after I finish the first draft of a project. And if it's been particularly hard with editing, I'll also have a shot after I get through with the final editing process, because sometimes the editing process can be complex. Not often, though, because I take so much time with my first draft, because I'm a pantser and I'm a slow writer and I overthink everything that I don't have to, do a lot of, major, cutting, reworking on my edits. Usually, I'm going to knock on wood, because as soon as I say that, I'll have a book.
I know, right?
About this story. But
I need to rewrite these chapters.
Can we add, what were you thinking? I'm pretty sure one of those might be coming. So we'll see. But no, I don't have any real release day rituals other than, maybe celebrating with chocolate, but I do that all the time. So, yeah, nothing much. What about you?
Well, I always do on release day, I always do a Facebook party that night with all of my readers, and they help spread the news they share links for all the books and everything on social media, and we have fun, and I give away, themed little party gifts and stuff, and I've done it ever since my first book, so it's just fun, and Facebook makes it harder and harder every time because it's so glitchy. But anyway, we had a fun party, and that was fun. I always look forward to those. Hanging out with readers is my second most favorite thing about being a writer, behind, I'm also a pantser, so I love being surprised, and so that's my favorite part of writing, is when a book takes a turn and I'm like, wait, what just happened? So those are my favorite, but second favorite is hanging out with readers afterwards, and I share, songs that were big on the playlist for that book, and we share snippets of the book, and always do an Ask Me Anything thread and all that. And then next week I'll be mailing out prizes going, why do I do this? But anyway, but it was super fun on Monday night. And then I try super hard to stay away from refreshing Amazon. And Meka and I, for everybody out there listening, did not realize we both set our books on pre-order to come out June 21st. And neither one of us had any idea that would be Amazon Prime Day.
Yes, did not pay attention to that at all.
Yeah, so next year I will be paying more attention. But anyway, having it be Amazon Prime Day on the same day our books came out, Amazon has been super glitchy with getting reviews up and with updating things. And anyway, it's been a mess. So this was not the smoothest of my book releases. And you would think, since I think this was book 35 or something like that I would be better at this. But Meka and I were talking about before the show that it never gets easier. I get so nervous that my stomach is in knots waiting to see if the reviews are good, because I have this voice in my head that's constantly going, maybe you're the only one who liked this book. I'm like, no.
I have that same voice. That inner critic is harsh. She is brutal, and I don't like her.
Right. Why do we have jerk voices in our head?
She never goes away.
No.
Yeah, and the date thing, and this isn't the first time I've messed up with dates, because when I scheduled the cover reveal for book 1, I was just looking at doing it 2 months prior to the book coming out. It did not click with me at all that date would be Election Day.
Oh,
no. Not Election Day. Inauguration Day.
Inauguration Day. Oh, no.
I scheduled and I was doing it through Syl, the book voyager. She does cover reveals on Frolic. And so she was handling the cover reveal. And so she emailed me, or she DM'd me, and she was like, can we move your cover reveal up a day? And at first I was just like, why? Is there conflict or whatever? She was like, she told me, she was like, the 20th is Inauguration Day, and we don't want you. I was just like, it was like one of those forehead slap moments. I was just like, it did not register with me at all when I picked this day. I was just like, the 20th, it's 2 months prior to when my book is being released. That's the day. It didn't register with me at all otherwise. And I was just like,
that you were going to compete with Joe Biden.
Right. I did not want to be competing with Joe Biden. So I did move. They moved it up a day, so they did it the day before because, I didn't pay any attention. I just picked a day because it, So, this Prime Day thing, too, it was just like, what? I'm pretty sure I had my day picked before Amazon and I had to do Prime Day, so we had it first.
We picked the day first. It should have been our release day.
Exactly.
Oh, well, live and learn.
Yes.
So since we're both pantsers, you want to tell everybody your favorite surprise that happened when you were writing Heat of Love, what you thought was going to happen, and then what actually happened?
Yes. So, I never really know what's going to happen because I don't think that far ahead. But I was writing a scene where Alec was going to meet having dinner with Regina's family. He'd already met her mom because everyone loves Mama Charles. He's quite the character. And Mama Charles invited him to a fish fry at their house because Mr. Charles, Regina's dad, all he does is sit around and he's retired. He fishes and he makes, apparently, his own liquor, including moonshine. And so there's a scene where Alec is at this cookout, and it's not just Regina's parents, it's also their family because they apparently live on like 8 acres of land, and it's a couple of them that live close together. So it's like a compound that they have. Not really a compound, but you know what I mean. It's just a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so he brings Alec this jar of moonshine, and Alec in his head is like, this is a test. Like he knows it going in. And then it was the fact that he's like, I got to kind of man up and do this because all these people are watching me with this liquid. And his reaction to taking the sip of the moonshine cracked me up so hard because it's strong. These people are small town. They live out sort of like in the country or southern Georgia. And he makes his own moonshine, and he makes it as strong as he wants to. And this stuff that he named after his wife was called the Mabel, because she was Mabel Charles. And so he gave Alec this moonshine, and Alec thought he was dying. And it was so hilarious being in his head at that moment. He was trying to stay, sort of manly and not like start crying because it's burning as it goes down. It was that scene out of all the scenes in the book absolutely cracked me up because of his reaction to it. So yeah, that was probably my favorite scene to write, was that particular scene in the book. And then at the end of that scene, they have sort of like a sort of sweet emotional moment that I won't spoil that part. But Regina makes a comment to Alec that shows the absolute significance of that scene of him getting the moonshine. And so, yeah, but I thought it was really funny how his reaction to drinking the moonshine.
I love it. So for mine, for Sedona Suspect, she gets arrested, and the only person in the wolf pack that she has a phone number for is Dex, our hero. And when I don't usually plot at all, but I know where the book is going to end up. And so obviously, since this one is Sedona Suspect, she was going to go to jail and they were going to have to break her out. But my problem was that I didn't know yet. I'm learning to trust that eventually I'll know when it's time to know. But I didn't know how I was going to get them back together, because she is capable of getting a whole new identity and leaving. So why would she stay in Arizona where my hero is when the authorities are looking for her, because they blew out the back wall of the jail to get her out, So that was my worry as I was writing the book. So anyway, he goes, and before the police have arrested her, and he's there and claims to be her boyfriend, but they won't. He said, "Can I make her bail?" And they said, "Well, after you talk to a judge," which would be after she shifts into a Jaguar. So that wasn't going to happen. So they were going to have to break her out. I had him go search her car before the tow truck got there, and he is looking for anything that might tip them off that she's more than human, and he's flipping through her glove box and finds a key. And me, as writer, have no idea what this key is for. But I wrote myself a note because I don't remember things either, Meka. So I write a note in the document at the bottom that just keeps going down until I figure out what it means. But I put in there, Dex has a key. And then later, I find out that she has her passport and her new ID and emergency cash in a safe deposit box. And I was like, oh, my God, that's the key. And that means she'll have to go back and find him because he has the key. I was like, woohoo! So those are the surprises I live for while I'm writing, because I'm like, I don't know. What is this key to? I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out later. But anyway, so those are, my favorite part of writing. So I love when that weird stuff happens, that I'm like, what is this? And later I find out, oh, my God, that's what that is. so that was my big surprise in that book. Right? Yeah, it makes writing seem, really mystical and cool, and I love that.
Yes.
So we are rapidly running out of time, and I could talk to you for hours, but how do you like writers to get in touch with you? How can they find you after they read the new book?
You can get in touch with me at my website, authormekajames.com, or you can always find me on Twitter. That's where I'm at most often, and I'm just at Author Meka James there.
Perfect. And everybody can find me at lisa-kessler.com, or on Twitter, I'm LDY Disney. And I'm also on Facebook, Lisa Kessler Writer, and I'm happy to talk to readers anytime. So thanks so much for being here, Meka. Fist bump to my release day, buddy.
I know, it's so much fun.
I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on Booklights. Be sure to connect with us at www.readersentertainment.com for articles, blogs, videos, and podcasts that matter to readers.